Aloha and welcome. In this lesson, we're going to be talking about class constructors. So we've talked about the subject before. We've used them. Now we're going to go into a little bit of detail on that. So classes are initialized to a specific state, and we use the constructor class or the dunder init dunder method in order to do that. So when you're setting everything up, let me share my screen with you, going to handy dandy VS Code. So this should look not too unfamiliar here, but we've got over here an attribute at the class level. Here we've got our constructor, the dunder init dunder. So it takes self. Remember, when we're calling on it, it's not going to send self. It knows to automatically add the instance as the first parameter. So we now want to take additional parameters to make it worthwhile. And you can do that. You can add parameters here. So I've added last name, first name, and age. And you'll notice that age equals 18 is giving it a default value. It's also using a key value pair here. So it follows the rules that we talked about when we were discussing functions. You can have a combination of positional and name mapped parameters in here, but there are rules that are associated with that. You have to have your named ones, and you have to have them in a certain order. So you have to have your positionals, then you can do your named ones. So keep those rules straight. And let's do some other things here. Let's say, yeah, well, let's just run this and see what happens. If we go through this and we think about it, we're going to go and create John with last name Johnson, first name John, and age of 23. Then we're going to have it tell us the name and tell us the age. And if we do that, we're going to see that we've got John Johnson and age is 23. But we just learned that we can do a default value there. So what happens if we omit our default value here of 23? Will John remain 23? I think not. He's 18. Why is he 18? Because up here we specify that we have a default age of 18. So if we don't supply that argument, it'll fill that in for us. So this is really neat because this allows us to create an object from that constructor, but also supplying it with all these pieces of information to truly initialize something. You know, we could expand that to have, you know, eye color, age, you know, weight, height, all kinds of things. So that's what we use this for. So this is just a simple constructor that assigns everything necessary and defaults to certain values if they're not included. And that's it. So it's a rather short section here. We're just talking about the constructors, but if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. Yeah, this is an interesting you know, concept. This is really powerful too, because it allows you to accomplish a lot of what you need to do right there in your, you know, initialization, and you can really set it up to differentiate it from all the other ones that you create. So anyhow, again, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. I'll set up a Zoom meeting if need be. And if not, I will be seeing you in our next lesson. Aloha.